Have you ever wondered why you procrastinate even though you know you should get things done? Do you feel stuck in a cycle of laziness and can't break free? Don't worry. Today we'll uncover all the reasons behind your laziness and make real change. After listening to this, you will never be lazy again. Welcome to KunzyInEnglish, where you'll not only learn English, but also learn how to transform your life step by step. Let's get started right now. Have you ever felt like you truly wanted to change, but just couldn't move? You wanted to study, to grow, to take action, but your body felt stuck, and your mind whispered, "Let's do it tomorrow." You're not lazy because you're weak, not because you don't have dreams, not because you don't care. There's something deep inside you trying to hold you back. And today, we're going to uncover what that is. Not with blame, not with pressure, but with understanding and the right kind of small, powerful actions. You can change. You are changing. And this episode might just be the beginning of the biggest turning point in your life. If you stay with me until the end, you won't just improve your English. You'll learn how to overcome the part of you that's been holding you back, even in the moments you feel like giving up, because laziness is not the enemy. It's a signal, a message, telling you it's time to reset and start fresh. Are you ready? Take a deep breath, and let me guide you toward the stronger version of yourself. It all begins right now, right here. What is laziness, really? Laziness isn't just doing nothing. It's not just lying on the couch or endlessly scrolling through your phone. Laziness is actually a signal from your brain, a message saying, "I'm overwhelmed. I'm worried. I don't know where to start." Sometimes it's not fear of failure, it's fear of success. Fear that if you begin, something inside you will change. And that change feels unfamiliar or even scary. When your brain senses pressure, confusion, or stress, it doesn't tell you to push through. It whispers, "Let's escape." So you pause. You choose comfort. Your brain is simply trying to protect you from discomfort, even if that protection keeps you stuck in the same place. But here's the good news. Once you understand this, you no longer have to fight against yourself. You can begin to work with your brain instead of against it. Laziness starts to lose its power when you stop blaming yourself and start listening to what your mind is really asking for. Clarity, direction, and small but steady action. Why do we avoid the things that matter most? Strange, isn't it? The things you care about the most, like learning English, growing as a person, building your future, are often the very things you keep delaying. Not because you don't want them, but because your brain doesn't care about long-term goals. It only cares about feeling safe and comfortable right now. Easy actions like scrolling on your phone, watching short videos, or grabbing a snack give you instant rewards. Studying, practicing, or building a skill takes effort, patience, and doesn't offer immediate results. So your brain picks the easier path. But that doesn't mean you're weak. It simply means you need to be smarter than your instincts. You don't have to fight yourself or force your way through. Instead, understand how your brain works and gently guide it in the direction you truly want to go. Once you understand the real reason behind your procrastination, you'll stop feeling disappointed in yourself. Instead, you'll begin to take action with more clarity, commitment, and confidence, one day at a time. Can small steps beat laziness? The answer is yes. It may sound simple, but this is the secret to breaking the cycle of laziness. You don't need to do everything at once, and you don't need to feel motivated right from the start. You just need to take one small action. Open a book, listen to a podcast, write down one word. Just start, even if it's very small. When you take that first step, something amazing happens. Your brain starts to relax and it thinks, oh, this isn't so bad. And at that moment, your brain starts to open up, creating space for the next step. Momentum will slowly build. Not because you force it, but because you started, and now your brain no longer sees it as something too difficult. Laziness can't win when you break things down and start one small piece at a time. Remember, change doesn't happen all at once, but each small step you take will bring you closer to overcoming yourself. Why doesn't motivation work long term? Motivation is like sugar. It bursts with energy quickly, but fades just as fast. You feel full of energy for a moment, but soon enough it disappears, and you're back to procrastination and laziness. Motivation can help you start, but it's not enough to keep you going when things get tough. What truly works in the long run is discipline, habits, and personal identity. When you act not because you feel excited, but because you've decided, I am someone who learns English, instead of just, I am learning. This identity is much stronger than any fleeting emotion. When you see yourself as someone who has been and is learning, you won't need motivation to keep going. You'll do it because it's now a part of your identity, and action becomes a natural habit. Habits create sustainability, and discipline helps you stay committed to your goals, regardless of emotional changes or motivation. Action is not based on your current feelings, but on who you want to become. If you only act when you feel motivated, you will always be controlled by your emotions. But if you act based on your identity, you'll do things because it's who you've decided to be. For example, if you believe you are a person of action, you will take action even when you don't feel like it. If you believe you are a learner of English, you will study every day, whether you feel excited or not. This identity is stronger than any temporary emotion, and when you act according to your identity, you no longer have to argue with yourself. You do it because that's who you are. How does the environment influence laziness? The environment is more important than willpower. You may have strong willpower, but if your surroundings are filled with distractions, you will easily fall into a lazy state. Every time you see your phone, hear a notification, or notice something that grabs your attention, you'll be pulled away from your important goals. Instead of letting your environment work against you, design it to support you. Keep your desk tidy. Place books within sight. Create a quiet and positive workspace. Don't forget about the people around you. If you have friends, family, or a community that is positive, they will push you in the right direction. When you design your environment to align with your goals, laziness won't be an issue. Your surroundings will naturally guide you toward action and help you maintain long-term motivation. Rest versus laziness. Rest is intentional, a time for you to recover and recharge your body and mind. After resting, you feel refreshed, alert, and ready to continue your tasks. Laziness, on the other hand, is avoiding responsibilities or tasks, not because you need to recover, but because you don't want to face the work. After being lazy, you feel worse, filled with regret and frustration. So ask yourself, am I resting or am I avoiding the task? If you feel refreshed and ready to continue, that's rest. But if you're just avoiding and can't bring yourself to move forward, that's when you need to recognize laziness and push through it. Why is starting the hardest part? When you haven't started yet, your brain imagines all kinds of difficulties, right? Challenges and potential failures. It paints a huge picture of how hard it's going to be, making you feel paralyzed and unable to move. The solution is simple. Start badly, start small, start imperfectly, as long as you start. Don't wait until everything is perfect, and don't let fear hold you back. Just take one small step. Once you begin, your brain will realize that it's not as scary as it imagined. And once you've started, you'll find yourself stronger, and things will get easier, bit by bit. If you've ever thought, if I can't do it perfectly, then I won't do it at all, you're falling into the perfectionism trap. Perfectionism makes everything seem too big, too hard, and too scary. You set standards that are so high that you feel like if you can't meet them, you might as well do nothing. But perfectionism is just a trap. In reality, you need to be willing to make mistakes, do things poorly, and be messy, because that's the only way to learn and grow. You don't have to wait for perfection to begin, because perfection only comes when you start taking action. Embrace imperfection, and you'll improve bit by bit. Why is the lazy voice so powerful? The voice of laziness is so sweet. Just rest for a little while. It's fine, you can do it later. It sounds reasonable and comforting, like a close friend telling you to relax for a bit. But afterward, you'll regret it. Get frustrated with yourself for not doing what you really wanted to do. That feeling creeps in once you realize time has passed and nothing has moved forward. Don't hate that voice. Just speak louder. Remind yourself of your goals and why you started in the first place. Be stronger than that fleeting comfort and keep going, because you are the one who determines your future. How to break the cycle of laziness with consistency. You don't need to do a lot. Just do a little, but consistently. The key is to maintain the habit every day, even if it's just a small step. Start with one sentence, one listening practice each day. Over time, your brain will begin to accept this action as part of your routine. When that happens, laziness won't have control over you anymore. Habits are stronger than emotions. You don't need to feel excited or motivated every day. You just need to keep the promise you made to yourself and stick to your plan. Once the habit is formed, you'll take action automatically without overthinking, and laziness will gradually fade away. Every time you procrastinate, you send a message to yourself. I can't trust myself. This doesn't just make you feel bad about the task, but it also causes you to lose confidence in your own abilities. The more you procrastinate, the more anxious you become, not only about the task at hand, but because you are losing trust in yourself. Each time you delay, that feeling of failure grows, and the procrastination loop continues. The key to breaking the cycle is taking small action right now. A single step, no matter how small, will break the procrastination and help restore trust in yourself. How to create energy instead of waiting for it. Have you ever felt like you're lacking the energy to get things done? It feels like you're waiting for something special, a push from outside to get started. But the truth is, you don't need to wait for energy. Action is the source of energy. Try this. Stand up, stretch, take a deep breath, and speak out loud. Just do something simple, and you'll immediately feel the shift in your body and mind. Energy doesn't come from waiting, it comes from your actions. Each small movement activates a response in your body, helping you feel refreshed, motivated, and ready to tackle the challenge. Once you begin taking action, energy will naturally flow, and you'll be amazed at how much you can do. Energy is something you create, not something you wait for. When you understand this, you'll never have to sit around waiting for motivation again. You'll create it every day, every minute, through each small action. How to train your brain to stop being lazy? Training your brain is like exercising. It's not a one-time thing, but consistent repetition. You can't expect a single effort to change everything, but if you take small actions every day, the results will follow. Each small, consistent action will help you build mental muscle. These habits will gradually train your brain to get used to taking action instead of always finding ways to avoid it. At first, it might be difficult, but over time, your brain will learn that taking action is normal, and it will stop resisting. As you keep repeating this habit, you'll notice a significant change in how you approach tasks and challenges. Instead of being lazy, your brain will automatically switch to a proactive state because this is now your new habit. You will fail. There will be days you miss opportunities. But remember, a day off is not the end. It's giving up that's the real end. Keep in mind, failure is part of the process. What matters is that you get back up, learn from your mistakes, and keep moving forward. Every time you rise after a failure, you're getting closer to your goal. What kind of life do you want to build? Forget about English. Forget everything else. Ask yourself, what kind of life do you truly want to live? Do you want a life you can be proud of, where you don't just keep promises to yourself, but live with clear purpose, full of meaning, and no longer feel like you're just drifting aimlessly? A life where every day you feel like you're getting closer to what you truly desire. The answer starts with the small actions you take today. You don't need to do everything at once, but if you begin with small, consistent steps, then tomorrow will be different. Each action, no matter how small, is a building block for the future you deserve. So where will you start? Inside you. There is already strength and focus. You don't need to change who you are. You just need to return to your true self, the person who knows what they want and has the ability to achieve it. Whenever you feel lazy, come back to this episode. Remind yourself of these messages and take one small action today. Action, no matter how small, is the first step to breaking the cycle of procrastination. Remember, you're not lazy, you're just off track. Get back on your path, take action, and don't let laziness hold you back. If you found these messages helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to KunzyInEnglish. Let's learn and grow together, one day at a time.